Realize that whatever you're trying to manifest, you already have. You already own it. It's already yours. You don't have to beg. You don't have to get down on your knees and pray. You don't have to continually ask. It's already yours. You just need to realize that and start shifting into that reality, that timeline.
So find a way to
Hello, my beautiful lightworker community. My name is Monica, and today's video is titled, "You've Already Manifested It in a Parallel Reality." In case you're wondering why I'm wearing this earpiece, I am by this beautiful river over here behind me, and it's very loud with filming, and I don't have a separate mic as I use my phone to record, so hopefully this will help with the sound. As I was trying to figure out what video I wanted to make today, I kept seeing signs about parallel realities and paradigm shifts. And so I decided that I was going to make a video on that because I have it written down in this long journal of video ideas I have, and that's been one of them for a while. So that's why I chose this topic today. So this subject is a lot more esoteric than a lot of my previous videos, but I still felt like I wanted to share my views on it and what I believe to be true. I'm sure most people have heard about the concept of parallel realities. It's often featured in a lot of TV shows and movies. I've noticed especially in comic book hero movies.
Hold on, seen someone do this once. All right, so imagine there are multiple versions of Earth. One where the Nazis won World War II, one where Kennedy was never assassinated.
Oh yeah, one where all of us are evil.
Been there, it sucks. So all of these Earths occupy the same place in space, but they vibrate at a different frequency, so they can't see one another.
I've discovered that a lot of truth is hidden in plain sight within movies and television by the Illuminati, the Cabal, the higher powers that be, because they know all of this esoteric knowledge and they keep it hidden from the masses. And when they do put it in plain sight, they try to make it sound like it's fantasy, that it's impossible, and that you're crazy if you actually do believe in it. I've always thought it was kind of like a neat concept, but I never thought about it being like a real thing. I've also heard other YouTubers talk about it. I've read about it. And for me, it wasn't like I immediately believed in it or I immediately dismissed it. It was just kind of like yeah, that could be a thing. And then one night as I'm lying in bed staring at the ceiling, and this seems to be where I get most of my spiritual downloads from. And then it just came to me, I had this download that basically said that parallel realities are real and I already have everything I want in another reality, you know, an alternate reality, a parallel reality. And being someone who loves law of attraction, who's studied this quite a lot over the last few years, I've seen other YouTubers talk about how you can jump timelines into where whatever it is that you want to manifest and wherever you want to be in your life. It'll almost essentially seem like it's overnight. It may not necessarily be that quick, but it might just seem really quick for maybe your expectations of how long you would think whatever it is you're trying to manifest would take. So anyways, yes, I got that parallel realities are real. I've already manifested everything I want, and that there's just like an infinite amount of timelines according to decisions that you could have made in the past, but you made a different choice, and that's led to the events of what's happened in your life thus far to the present in this specific reality. And this is a concept that I can't scientifically prove to be true. I really have no evidence. This is just something that feels intuitively to be true to me. And I wanted to share this with anyone that it might resonate with. I know it won't resonate with every single person, and that's fine. But for those who it does resonate with, I just wanted to let you know that parallel realities exist. And again, you've already manifested every single thing that you want in a different reality. And like I said before, I think there's a lot of infinite timelines where there's for example, like there's a version of me that is, you know, what they show in TV shows when they say that it's like an evil version or something. So someone that's more sinister than I am currently in this reality, that there is a version of me that's maybe even I don't know, more positive and uplifting and high vibe than I am now. There's a version of me that maybe has kids, or a version of me that is single, a version of me that's poor, living on the streets, a version of me that's rich, living in a mansion. I mean, there's infinite possibilities. There's a timeline for everything. And when big events especially happen, let's say that you lose your job, or you get a job, or you start your family, or you get married, let's just say something like that, that kind of moves you into a different timeline than if those events had not occurred. And those events can seem like they happen overnight in a sense too. One day you're single, the next day you meet your soulmate. I mean, things just shifted within like 24 hours. One day you don't know you're pregnant, the next day you know you're pregnant, and then you're about to start a family and have a kid, and that also puts you on a different timeline. It'll seem like overnight this dramatic change has just happened. So I want to give a personal example of my own. I've already talked about this in my video titled How I Manifested My Dream Life in 2020. And for anyone who doesn't know, my dream life is for me and my husband and our 2 dogs to be full-time RVers and to travel the country here in the US where we live, and more specifically to be in nature more and to be away from the cities and kind of get out of the rat race. And we ended up manifesting that a lot sooner than we had anticipated. When we first realized this was our dream, a lot of the actions that we started taking were preparing ourselves in a sense by researching what it was that we needed to know. Because at the time, we did not own an RV and we didn't know what type we were going to get. So we were researching that. And then we were thinking, well, if we get this one kind, like a travel trailer like we have right now, then we'll need a truck. And we didn't have a truck, and we'd have to research that. Make sure that we have like enough horsepower to pull it, up mountains and stuff. And then we watched a ton of YouTube videos of other full-time RVers pretty much every day. We'd watch maybe a few of them a day. And as we were watching, we'd start to think about like, I want to go visit this place in this state, or I definitely do not want to go there. And then we started looking into different types of camping, whether we wanted to be at RV parks, where we paid a fee and we can make reservations and we'd be maybe closer to a town, or did we want to do boondocking, which is no hookups, and maybe get like solar panels or a generator to be more secluded and not have to depend on parks. So, I mean, there was a lot of research and decision making for a good, I don't know, at least a year as we were looking into this. And then my husband was also looking at and applying to jobs where he could be remote and work from home. And then we had to research the internet situation and make sure that we would have service so that he could work. So again, so basically there was just a lot of details encompassed into making our dream come true. And so that was an action that we were taking. And we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know exactly when. We just had anticipated 3 to 5 years to save up money and to pay things off and to find a job. And we had put out that intention into the universe. I had written it down in my journal by doing the 55x5 method. And when it happened, it seemed like it was overnight. It was like one day we're just planning this. The next day my husband gets an email from a company asking him if he'd be interested in this role that was, and he asked if it could be remote. So we were just in shock. Like the next day we're just like, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. And it felt like, at first it felt like we had been waiting for so long, but then in the end, it really didn't feel like that long at all. So as crazy and out there as parallel realities might seem to you, I just invite you to kind of go back into the mindset of being a child again, where anything is possible, and that you believe in magic, in a sense, you believe in all the possibilities of anything, and everything's like anything can happen, that sort of mentality. And even just pretend, use your imagination. As kids, we're always pretending, playing, using our imaginations, that this is a real thing, that this is something that's possible at least. And realize that whatever you're trying to manifest, you already have. You already own it. It's already yours. You don't have to beg. You don't have to get down on your knees and pray. You don't have to continually ask. It's already yours. You just need to realize that and start shifting into that reality, that timeline. I'm going to go into talking about how I think you can start to do a paradigm shift and shift into that parallel reality to having whatever it is that you want. My number one way is just like how I explained in my personal example of manifesting my dream of full-time RVing and traveling, is to start preparing for what it is you want. So I'm not exactly talking about like living in the end and pretending you already have it. I'm talking as you know it's coming, but you need to get yourself ready. Whether it is mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever it is, get yourself ready. Like if you knew you were going to manifest your soulmate tomorrow, what would you be doing today? I've heard some stories in the past. I've heard a story of a guy who wanted to take a vacation somewhere, and every weekend for I don't know how long, he would pack up his entire suitcase with clothes. Let's say that he wanted to go to like the Bahamas. He would pack clothes for the beach, anything that was appropriate, maybe sunblock or I don't know, just stuff like that. And he would literally drive all the way to the airport and I think go up to the point before security, and then he would turn around and go back. But he got himself into this state of believing so much that he was about to go on this trip, that was the action he took every weekend. He was very dedicated to doing that, and it did actually manifest, and he was able to go wherever it is he wanted to go to vacation. I've also heard of another story of a lady who was trying to manifest her soulmate, and she started doing things like parking on one side of her garage to make room for her soulmate to park on the other side. She would sleep on one side of the bed, make room for him to sleep on the bed, and then she would clear out a drawer so that he would have a drawer, things like that. You can get as creative as you want with this and really just get back into that pretending imagination mode. I know as an adult, we're conditioned to believe that this is just wishful thinking and that we're crazy and we need to grow up and live in the real world. But the real world is a dream and the dream world is real. So it's all interrelated. If you can do it in the dream world, you can do it in the real world and vice versa. We're very powerful beings. We're very powerful beings that can manifest. And it may not be as instant or as fast as we'd like it to happen, but it will happen. And that's really, really important for everyone to know. So if you want a certain car, you can go to a dealership and you can test drive one of those cars. So then you can get the feeling of being behind the wheel, what it looks like, what it smells like, what it feels like when you're driving it, how it handles. And then when you're thinking about it, and while you're manifesting it, you can visualize it better with more senses because you've already done it. You can journal about it, script about it, whatever you want to do. Or if you're trying to manifest moving to a certain place, start researching things about that place. Like that's why the internet is so amazing, is that we have so much instant access to information. Let's say you're in a country and you want to move to a different part of that country or a different state. Start researching neighborhoods. If you have kids, start researching the schools. Start looking for doctors, like reading reviews, looking for dentists, looking for the nearest post office. I mean, whatever you feel like you would need in that community, maybe like a meetup group or a gym or whatever it is. Start really focusing on finding those things, because the more you're mentally preparing for where you're going to move to, like you're going to manifest that. And you can do it, you can do this alongside another manifesting technique if you'd like. You don't have to do this all in one day. Like if you just choose to do this on the weekends when you have more time or something, like choose one thing to look up, like what neighborhood looks the best, or look up what schools are the best, or whatever it is that you feel like you're going to need when you move there. And that's really going to put your conscious and subconscious mind into the zone of, okay, we're getting ready to move here. Once again, the internet is so vast. I mean, there's really no excuse to not be learning at least or researching about whatever it is that you're trying to do or you're trying to manifest or whatever your goals are in the future. I know for me, I knew nothing about like how to upload a YouTube video, how to make a trailer, how to make a banner, how to make a thumbnail, and I was able to find all that on YouTube itself. There are like thousands of videos of people sharing their knowledge of how to do something. So whatever it is that you want to do, just start researching it at least. and start preparing yourself. It's like an athlete who's training for a triathlon or something. They are taking action by running a little bit every day or swimming or biking, whatever it is. But you just got to do something with the law of attraction. Like, think about what you want. Be honest with yourself what you want. Write it down. Start researching or start preparing, mentally preparing, get creative. Start reading books about whatever it is you want to do, or watching videos. If you read books and you watch videos on the topic of people who are already doing whatever it is you want to do, or have whatever it is you want to have, you kind of get into their energy, which is resonating with the energy of what you want to manifest. That's going to help you focus on the vibration that you want to be in order to manifest it. All right, that is my video for today. I hope that was helpful. I definitely invite you guys to practice this, to start researching and to start figuring out, like, even just the littlest details of what it is that you'll need to know about your manifestation once you receive it, or what you need to do to prepare before you receive it. It's going to raise your vibration. It's going to help you to feel like you're doing something, you are taking action, and it's going to help you to feel good about it as you're researching these things. And I'm sure it'll also be very helpful. There were a lot of things that I didn't know before manifesting this lifestyle that would have been a lot harder if I was just figuring it out as I go after I got it. So you definitely want to start thinking about all these details before you receive the manifestation to prepare yourself for it. See you guys in the next video. Much peace, love, and light. Bye, everyone.